Start with a roll call.
Present this evening, Monday, August 12th, 2024, are Mayor C. Holland Purdue III and Vice Mayor Billy W. Stockton. Council members A. Ralph Casey, David K. Clements, Benjamin K. Mullins, and Mark H. Newbill. Also participating this evening are staff members as noted.
And Tyler just walked in. We want to update that.
And J. Tyler Lee,
All right.
Saved by the bell.
saved by the bell.
We'll do the pledge now. If you all stand and take off your caps. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Everyone's received a copy of the agenda. We'll need an approval before we start.
So moved.
Have a motion and a
Second.
second. All in favor of approving the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next, we ask for an approval of the consent agenda that's in your packet.
So moved.
Have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have some special items tonight. The Southwest Virginia Tourism Award for 150 Fest. Mark Moore will be presenting.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. I have the award that the town was awarded last week from the Southwest Virginia Tourism Award for the 150 Fest that we had last year. I think we can all agree that it was a huge success for the town. It was an award that we won for the outstanding one-day event of the year with more than 3,000 attendees. Myself, Daniel Pernard, and Town Manager Wood attended that session last week, the award session in Wytheville. A lot of competition there, and so wanted to pass that around and acknowledge council for appropriating the funds for that festival that's now turned into Rocky Mount Fest. That'll be happening here in September at an annual music festival. But I also want to specifically mention our Economic and Cultural Development Director, Daniel Pernard. If he'll stand. He was the boots on the ground, the mastermind, and a round of applause for Daniel. Nice job, Daniel. I also want to point out our public safety, our police department, our public works. They had a huge hand in that as well. I know that Chief Young and Superintendent of Public Works, Brian, is here. So I wanted to acknowledge them as well. They had a huge hand in the festival itself, and a round of applause for them as well. It's great to win awards like this, and it's a testament to the strong staff that we have here in town. So we should all be proud. Thank you.
September 21st is the date for Rocky Mount Fest this year. So thank you, Mr. Moore. All right. That being the only special item, we'll move to hearing of citizens. When I hear your name, if you will come forward to the podium, state your name. You don't need to state your address. We have those written down. And limit your conversation to 3 minutes. Bucci Legans.
Good evening, Mayor. Everybody in here, I'm kind of nervous, so bear with me. But anyway, I'm Bucci Legans. I live on 365 Purdue Lane. And I have an issue with the water. And I have talked to Kevin. And so anyway, so they have told us that because we live at a dead end, we're getting all the trash in the water. I have pseudomonas, not only in my leg, but my whole body on my skin. And my issue is that my family and my daughter lives next door cannot drink the water. And so we don't even much less cook in the water, but we have to shower. And my issue is that with this pseudomonas in my leg, if the water, they come flushing the water every 2 weeks. And before they flush the water, there's no chlorine in the water. And so I'm having a big problem with this issue. And I just want to know what can happen and what can be done so me and my family and my daughter feel safe with the water.
We usually don't respond to people that are hearing the citizens, but staff is gonna reach out to you. They've got notes, okay? I know that's not what you wanna hear, but normally we don't go back and forth on these, okay? Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brenda Muse.
Good evening, Board. This is the third time that I've been before you with this concern, and it's concerning the apartments that are on Purdue Lane. The last time that I came before you was on September the 11th of '23, and I shared these visuals with you. I'd like to pass them around so you can refresh your memory. And after that, I've had a lot of communications with different individuals within the Planning and Zoning Administration's office that I want to share with you regarding this matter. On June the 20th of 2023, I received an email from Jessica Heckman, who is the Planning and Zoning Administrator. She stated, "We have been in contact with the property owner, and he has been making efforts to get his tenant to clean up the property. We sent them a letter in May regarding the weeds and trash, and they mowed and cleaned a little, but not enough. I advised him we were about to schedule a cleanup and charge him for the abatement costs. The owner stated he was working on getting his tenant to remove the items, or he was going to try to have it done himself. If no action is taken on this part of the owner, by the end of next week, we will be seeking a contractor to clean up the property." This did not occur. The county has the authority to make a formal determination as to whether the property meets Virginia definition of nuisance or is unsafe. The property is definitely unsafe, and it's a nuisance to the residents who live on Purdue Lane. The property owner advised the foundation was failing, so they have had jacks installed for support until the foundation can be replaced. So the owner acknowledges major repairs to the building. On October the 26th, the town manager, Robert Wood, communicated with me through email, and he emailed the county building official, and they plan to look at the property. On October the 30th, Mr. Wood met with the county building official at the property on Purdue Lane, and after looking at the structure, he asked if we could have the owner meet us there so they could see inside of the structure. On December the 8th, Robert Wood, town manager, emailed me and stated it has taken longer than we had hoped, but it looks like we will be meeting with the county building official and the property owner in about 10 to 14 days. The owner is going to let the building official in to inspect the property. On January 10th, Jessica Engel, Planning and Zoning Administrator, emailed me. She stated we met with the property owner on site to discuss the property and plans moving forward. The property owner asked for time to complete necessary foundation repairs. It was agreed to give him until July 1st, 2024 to have repairs underway. August the 8th, 2024, I received an email from Mr. Wood. The property owner has not done the work on the property, but did get the tenant out of the building, so it's now officially vacant. This is not true. There are 2 additional tenants living in those apartments. The town planner, Mr. Engel, and I met with the county building official to plan next steps. The building official is going to get us a letter in the next week or so that will state the building is still in need of repair or demolition, and that is unsafe for it to be occupied. We will work with the town attorney to determine how best to proceed under state and local laws. We have to make sure that property owners, their rights are protected. So as of July 21st,
Thank you.
2024,
I know I hate to cut you off, but that's the 3 minutes.
this is how it looks as of July 21st.
Thank you, thank you,
Thank
Ms. Muse. Glenna Moore?
Good evening, Glenna Moore. Location, location, location. I love Rocky Mount. I grew up on Patterson Avenue, which is perpendicular to Main Street. Patterson Avenue was one of the black communities in town. Black communities in the South are usually established where blacks are allowed to live, and intentionally not on premium property. Patterson Avenue, like other black communities in town, is where our lifestyle was controlled by Jim Crow segregation. Segregated schools, segregated jobs, segregated recreation, segregated water fountains, and restrooms in the Franklin County Courthouse. On Patterson Avenue lived plumbers, domestic workers, railroad employee, beautician, stonemason, grocery store owner, cooperative extension agent, pastors and deacons, school principal, school secretary, 15 teachers, and Army Master Sergeant, and veterans from most of the wars, including Women's Army Corps veteran Nanny Victoria Smith, and the first black man hired by the town of Rocky Mount, Cuddy Smith. And let's not forget the first African Americans on town council, Wade and Dorothy Phelps. We were good citizens, but living by restrictive racial laws and policies. Soon after I acquired my driver's license in the late 60s, I encountered something I found peculiar. I was driving through Patterson Avenue to Main Street. When I got to the stop sign beside Wickline Chevrolet, later Thompson Tire, I noticed a Hillcrest street sign. I remember thinking, why is the street straight ahead named Hillcrest? It's obviously continuously of Patterson Avenue, a street. 56 years later, I got the answer. In 2005, my uncle Fred Young purchased a house on Hillcrest Drive. He did a deed search, finding the original owner as Peter H. Dillard, Jr., from prominent white family of lawyers, judges, and state legislators. Fred found a racial covenant in the original 1946 deed that read, "It is understood and agreed by and between the parties hereto that this property is restricted to the members of the Caucasian race for a period of 50 years and shall not be occupied by any other race except as servants." Imagine, in 1946, 81 years after the United States colored troops soldiers fought for freedom of the enslaved and preservation of America, black citizens still could be legally restricted from premium property in our town. Location, location, location. Thank you.
Kim Van Buren. Kim Van Buren. Okay. There's another sheet to sign. Is there another sheet to sign up on?
Shouldn't.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. Christopher Coates, Reverend Coates.
To our illustrious and revered mayor, Mr. Perdue, and to our town officials, and to our entire Rocky Mount Town Council. My name is Christopher Coates. I serve as the pastor of the First Baptist Church, an institution that has stood here since in 1882. I've had the privilege of serving this community for the last 6 years. This is my first time choosing to address this assembly, and I have chose to do so at a critical time in our town's history as our community celebrates the gallantry and the sacrifice of some of its own by erecting a monument in their honor. This monument, lifting up the United States colored troops, is not just about the celebration of heroism and patriotism, but is also about the recognition and the reconciliation of history, and also the telling of those who were on the margins of society. I center my remarks today around the words of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. As he would address the world from a Birmingham jail cell, Dr. King would state, in a real sense, life is all interrelated. All men are caught up in this escapable network of mutuality. tied within a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. I can never be what I should be unless you become what you should be, and you can never be what you should be unless I am to become what I should be. Dr. King's words should anchor all of us, and they should anchor you as in our world and society, and also in the progress of our town. They should remind us of the individual narratives that we are all collectively tied as one. We should be able to see the humanity of one is also the humanity of all of us. We should also see all of us in each other. So as I conclude my remarks, I leave you to reflect on the words of Jesus. One day Jesus was asked by a man, what is the greatest commandment? Jesus responded with a request that we should love our neighbor as ourselves. As we consider the advancement and the progress of our town and the execution of your responsibilities to ensure the safety of our town, please keep in mind the inescapable fact that we are all linked as one. Thank you.
Eric Ansbaugh.
Mr. Mayor, Town Manager, Council, folks, good to be here. My name's Eric Anspaugh. I'm speaking this evening on behalf of the Franklin County NAACP as its president. We're thankful, we are, that the Rocky Mount Town Council and the Veterans Commission are supportive of raising the Shade Monument in honor of the 70 United States colored troops from Franklin County who were fighting for the United States during the Civil War. That being said, prior to the Veterans Memorial Site approval on June the 10th, for the monument's placement, only verbal conversations took place between town staff and Raising the Shade members regarding that monument, and it's being located at the farmers market site, possibly near the clock tower. During those conversations, town staff continued to maintain that the Veterans Memorial was approved and it was good at the Veterans Memorial Park. End of discussion. On July 25th, the sculptors and installers for the monument design, construction, and installation visited Rocky Mount and participated in the Raising the Shade community listening session, which, by the way, had over 160 people there. While in Rocky Mount, the sculptors and installers here for the very first time visited and reviewed both the Veterans Memorial and the farmers market location, and both deemed the market space the prime location for the monument. Therefore, relying on the expert opinion of our guest artists, along with the positive feedback received from those attending the community listening session, the Franklin County NAACP Executive Committee, acting as managers of the Raising the Shade project, sent the following letter to the mayor, town manager, and town council on August 6, 2024. This is the letter. The Franklin County NAACP is submitting our first formal request for the placement of the proposed monument honoring the 70 United States colored troops from Franklin County in downtown Rocky Mount to be around the farmers market. We look forward to collaborating with the town to ensure the successful placement and unveiling of that monument in December of 2025. We continue to believe that the farmers market location is ideal for this monument given its prominence and accessibility. It will serve as a visible and meaningful landmark, that connects the past to the present. And as my sister Glenna Moore stated earlier, location, location, location.
That concludes the hearing of citizens. We'll move to new business. The Harvester Performance Center update. Mr. Moore.
Me again, council. Hey. Good evening, Mayor and council members. I wanted to bring to you as co-manager of the Harvester Performance Center an update that Robert will be passing out to you. I'll be reading from that. It's a comparison of fiscal year, this current fiscal year that just ended June 30, with the previous fiscal year of FY '23. These are the first 2 years out of COVID. Harvester shut down for more than a year. I think you all now have a copy. FY '24 we saw 60 shows compared to 46. We're continually increasing the number of shows we have at the Harvester. The average attendance is 326. Seating capacity is 424. Previous year saw an average attendance of 282, with pre-COVID average attendance at 187. So we go 187 before COVID, 326 this fiscal year recently completed. Total attendance, including the homegrown music series and the free music series that we have, a little over 23,000. That's up from the total attendance in the previous year of FY '23 of 12,500. So almost double the attendance the second year out of COVID. Total income, $2.3 million in FY '24. FY '23 saw 1.2, so almost double the income. Minus out the expenses, the total profit for FY '24 was $394,099.88, compared to FY '23 of a little over $209,000. Again, almost a double in the profit. So the Harvester had a great year. We look forward to another great year, drawing tourists to the community, where our average attendance is up where we want it to be. Number of shows is up. And I want to point out one other thing at the bottom. Starting in FY '22, which is July of 2019, there was rent payments began from the Harvester to the town in the amount of $85,200 a year, or $7,100 a month. As of May of 2024, finishing out this this past fiscal year, we had $134,900 had been paid back to the town, for rent, with a little less than $200,000 still to be made up from the COVID years. With the Harvester revenue stream increasing these last 2 years, we have been able to make the rent payments current. Since July 2019, Harvester is now current in its rent to the town of $326,600. So the continual work that we do to make improvements to the Harvester, make it run more efficient, working with Midwood Entertainment, is not only a benefit to the economic development of the town. Talk to any business owner and you'll know that, but also the efficiencies that we've made we're getting the Harvester's financials back on track where they should be, and that was the goal since I arrived here in October of 2020 and Robert started in May of '21. So we've worked hard to make it more efficient and to make it successful. We've increased attendance significantly, and we've increased profit, and that has allowed us to continue to support agreements between the town and the Harvester for rent paid. So we've had a good year at the Harvester, and it's been a great success, and we'll continue to do that. Answer any questions you have.
I have a question. You've been doing a very good job in keeping up the participation. However, I'd like to see you reach out just a little further out, get different music in.
Okay.
It's going to help. It is going to help.
Okay.
We had it before, and anyway, and the place was packed all the time, but it was variety music. So
Okay.
I'd like to see you reach out just a little more.
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
Other comments, questions? Thank you, Ms. Moore.
Thank you.
Next, we have the request for proposals for the bank downtown Rocky Mount building. Mr. Bernard to present.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening to council. This request for proposals, or RFP, is pertaining to the People's National Bank building in downtown Rocky Mount that the town EDA recently purchased after Atlantic Union Bank consolidated with American National at their other branch across town. The RFP that you have in your packet was specifically designed for this property. Because it allows us to review proposals from different developers. The RFP is written to be open-ended, so we're not asking for a specific use because there may be creative uses that we have not thought of. But it's also written to ensure that whatever proposals do come from developers will enhance the downtown ecosystem. The RFP also prioritizes developers with experience in both historic renovation and economic revitalization. And it's also written to ensure a reasonable timeline and to protect the town and ensure potential contractors will comply with what's best for the town. So next steps, if approved by council this evening, would be to have the EDA vote on the same RFP, put it out to bid for around 60 days, and then the proposals be reviewed and then voted on by both council and EDA. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions?
So just from my understanding and everybody else in the audience, we vote on this, it goes to EDA, and then after EDA does their piece, it would then hit.
We would then put it
Online
directly out to
circuit.
bid. That's correct.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
perfect. So you need a motion to move forward, is that?
We do need
my
a motion.
understanding? I'll make the motion to proceed on with the current RFP.
I'll second. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Safe Streets for All grant resolution. Mr. Wood?
Council, the resolution you have in front of you tonight is to authorize the submission of an application to the Safe Streets and Roads for All grant program. This is a federal funding program that provides money to localities to where you can do a review of all of the streets and anything related to traffic in the town, in our case, the town, to see if there are ways that the streets can be made safer. And that's for people who drive, people who walk, people who ride bikes, anyone that uses the streets in town. And so it's, the way the program works is similar to other ones we've talked about. The first round of funding that you can get is to do an actual plan where you hire an engineering firm to come in and review those things. And then once they make their recommendations, you can apply for a second round of funding that would actually fund those improvements. So what you're being asked to do tonight is approve the resolution that would authorize the submission of the grant application, and it would commit the town that if the town does get the grant, then the town would pay the 20% required local match.
All right. Any questions for Mr. Wood regarding that resolution?
I'll make the motion to proceed on with this grant application. I'll also get on my soapbox for just a second. We need to be promoting the position for the grant writer a little bit harder, in my opinion, but we're doing a great job at,
Got a motion?
yes.
All right. And a second. Any discussion?
We need a
All in
grant
favor
writer.
say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. It's the end of the new business. Now, we have a closed session this evening. In order to enter into a closed meeting, the motion will be made to move into a closed session under the Virginia Code section cited as 2.2-3711A.7. Do I have a motion to go into the closed meeting under the cited code?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you for attending. After closed session, council will return to the chambers.